Hello and welcome to another reputation room at PHA. It's been a couple of weeks because I went on and did something politicsy, didn't I? Very, very highbrow. Pre-election seems like, might as well have been 4 years ago, mightn't it? But we're going to there's lots to touch on this week. I want to talk about a big British bank and an emerging big British institution. And then we're going to do a little bit of football at the end because it's a very, very big week for me. And I know you're joining me in Arsenal's glory and success. Standard Charter, lower value, human capital. It amazes me these bosses still make these mistakes.
Yeah, Bill Winters, the boss of Standard Chartered, he was talking at an investors meeting. He talked about the impact of AI on jobs, back office jobs. Think about 800 jobs getting rid of in, it should be said, emerging markets, the likes of Bangalore, Chennai, Kuala Lumpur, and he referred to them as lower value human capital. Now, he was talking to room full of investors, and he might have felt that was appropriate language. But of course, even if that's your primary audience, that's not the audience where it ends up. And as you can imagine, it went down very badly, not only with employees, but also with fund managers who are not necessarily shrinking violence, who question that. And in fact, so much so that he then had to make an apology essentially to his colleagues.
Well, we're going to touch on that in a minute because there has been an attempt at a rollback, I would say. What fascinates me though is when we talk to people who want to be their best in front of a camera and how they communicate, one of the first things we say is know your audience. And he thought he knew his audience, didn't he? But of course, the audience is always much wider, isn't it? Ultimately, the business is a people business, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the first rules of corporate communications is you always assume that your primary audience is not the only audience. So anything you're putting in what you think might be internal communications, for example, you need to be aware that it could easily be external as well. And that was the first mistake. But beyond that, there's a much wider issue in what we know is going to be a very difficult period with a lot of people losing jobs as a result of automation, is maintaining that empathy. And that is what we completely lack to.
Lower value human capital. He has tried to row it back. And then I saw a phrase he talked about when the jobs fall away. I thought, of course, like a second fail in terms of the language. The irony here, you're talking about automation through AI. One of the things AI can't do is emotive human language, and it looks like he can't either.
No, it's fascinating. I've always had a real fascination, as you both know, with leaders that get to the top of businesses of this scale. 82,000 employees. He got paid £12.7 million last year. This is a seriously
he's
impressive.
A high value human capital.
He likes to think he is anyway. But he's, this is a seriously impressive person, and yet just seems to have a complete failure to communicate. If anything, it really shows why you need top quality comms advisors around people like that. They can help communicate in an empathetic way. He's not going to let the numbers behind this. I had a slightly nerdy moment before coming on here where I looked at Meltwater, our social listening tool. And in the past 7 days, there have been 4,720 mentions of Bill Winter. The 7 days before that, 81. So this has completely exploded for him. It just shows that getting something wrong like this can just, the scale will be tremendous.
Liverpool still have another year as well with Standard Chartered as their shirt sponsor. We'll pump that for now, though. Let's pivot to, this is a good pivot. You're going to be impressed with this. Gemma Collins, the GC. I know you call her the GC in the office because you watch a lot of this stuff. For me, this is actually, she went in, met Bridget Phillipson, the education secretary for England. Downing Street has had a big shift, hasn't it, in its digital strategy and trying to go to where just talking about audiences, they're trying to go to where the audience is. And they think, is one way to do that. She sat down with the Secretary of State. The sachet, did it work? Or in a way, doesn't it matter because we're talking about it anyway?
Gemma Collins, who I've never called GC, has 2.3 million followers on Instagram. The Department of Education has 85,000. So you get the idea that they're buying her audience. Obviously, it attracted a fair amount of criticism because she was on to talk about post-16 education. It was felt it was very trite, very contrived. But you can see what they were trying to do. They're trying to reach a different audience. And as you say, to some extent, the fact that we're talking about it now shows that it worked. It was, unfortunately for them, conflated with the end of the consultation on special needs education. And a lot of groups concerned with that were upset that they felt a very important issue was being trivialized by having someone like her talking more broadly about education. And so it got a lot of negative publicity, but I think the proof will be, will people actually watch it? Will they relate to it? will achieve the objectives, which is to get more post-16s interested in education.
Well, that little bit. I mean, when I used to work at Radio 1 ages ago, the dawning of the age of, social presence, they talked all about shareability. The test is, will this be shared? I mean, this is being shared to the nth degree, isn't it? So in a way, does it really matter?
Well, I think they're actually quite chuffed with it. I mean, yeah, they came out saying, the data behind the social media post shows that it's a lot of people that have never engaged in the department before are seeing this. The demographics are much younger than their average audience. They are chuffed with that. I guess it just shows to me that so many things have to come together to make good comms. This was, in theory, quite a good idea. I think reach new audiences, come in with a message that resonates with the person you're bringing in, but the timing was off. They just finished a SEND consultation. They had a lot of eyes on them from very cautious and worried parents and campaigners. And so the whole project is marred by that.
All right, actually, we're going to talk a little bit about Channel 4 boss, but I'm going to move on from that because I want to talk one thing about the person I think has the best reputation in the world in which he lives this week. He went back to school on Wednesday. His GCSE start on Monday. Max Dowland. And there's some great footage online of him going back to school, clapping him in. I think he's 16 and a half, Premiership champ. And I can't think of anyone who's is riding high in their world this week. Can you? Or what could you do to be even...
I'd make a plea for Aaron Rye, the very humble Wolverhampton golfer who won the PGA, the first Englishman to win that tournament for more than 100 years. But no, Max Dowland, it's a great story and actually really inspirational.
Well, yeah, I mean, you said he played under 10 games, which meant that actually...
all right,
10 years
let's wrap this up.
He wouldn't have got a Premier League title. He played, was it 90 minutes, scored 1 goal, barely contributed.
Yeah.
I mean, I might come across a bit of a spike from West Ham.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
This is your take, is it?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I'd rather have Jack.
All right, Max Dowland, that was good. We did the GC, we did Stat Chart. That was good. I'll talk to you afterwards about what things that just come back. All right, good stuff. That's done for the week.